Today's readings, Genesis 13, Matthew 12, Nehemiah 2, and Acts 12. We're going to make a few comments from Genesis and from Nehemiah today. So Genesis chapter 13, in chapter 12, which you have read yesterday, it's the call of Abram, and chapter 13 tells us that Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver and gold, and he gets to Bethel, to a place where his tent had been in the beginning, between Bethel and Ai. Verse 4 of chapter 13. To the place where he made an altar at the first, and there Abram called upon the name of the Lord. And we're going to see at the end of the chapter, he's going to do something similar. He's going to, wherever he goes, he's going to build an altar to worship. He's going to take time to call upon the Lord. And the story here in chapter 13 is the division between Lot and Abram. And Abram's not wanting to cause any problems. He says, you choose. Lot chooses. And then God says, I'm going to bless you in a great way. And so the end of the chapter, and there he built an altar to the Lord. It's not something we need to do in the way we worship now, right? You don't need to get some stones together and do something like that. But maybe it's a corner of your house, a closet, a spot outside somewhere that you can get away, just you and the Lord, and a place where you go. That's where you go and worship for some time, quality time, just you and the Lord. Something to think about. Nehemiah chapter 2. Nehemiah, one of my most favorite books of the Bible. I think I might have mentioned that yesterday. Here he goes to the king, and the king notices that he doesn't seem well. What's up? And so he explains, and he wants to rebuild, and he wants permission to go. And the end of verse 8 says, and the king granted me what I asked, for the good hand of my God was upon me. Think about that for a second. Out of all the things that happen in your life that are good, right? Where you do things and something great happens with your boss at work or your family, how often do we quickly link it to the good hand of God upon us? You're like, well, Nehemiah did because he was praying, right? So maybe there's a direct link to prayer and thanksgiving. If we're praying regularly, we're going to be thankful regularly because God's answering prayer. Not bad. When he gets to Jerusalem, he's going to go around and check out the walls. He's not telling anyone what's happening, what's going on. Verse 11, I went to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. I arose in the night and had a few men with me, and I told no one what God had put into my heart to do for Jerusalem. It's an interesting thing. There's going to come a point where he does tell very quickly, but the very initial first things, it's just he knows he needs to kind of get the lay of the land, just keep hearing from the Lord, and he's not ready to just blabber it all. Here's what God said, here's what we're going to do. Right? I don't know if that happens in our lives as much, but sometimes we do it because we want to look good. Well, the Lord showed me, the Lord told me. And it's all great. It's interesting that Nehemiah took a few days there in Jerusalem. Different circumstances, different condition. I get it. But he waited. He was patient. If it's of the Lord, it'll come out. Right? It's not going to be about you anyways. So taking a little check in your spirit is a good thing, because a lot of times the next step isn't just implementation. It's as he had people with him, it's, hey, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I think the Lord's saying, this is what it looks like he's doing, what do you think about that? And then you're moving forward beyond that. Right away opposition starts to come, and we'll see these guys throughout the book. And here's his response, and we'll close with this. Nehemiah 2, verse 20. Then I replied to them, "The God of heaven will make us prosper, and we his servants will arise and build, but you have no portion or right or claim in Jerusalem." Till next time, keep growing little by little.